Hi, Eric Wilson here, independent licensed mechanic, 30 years of experience. In the next short while, I'm going to show you the inside story on this 2004 Jeep Liberty so you can make an informed decision. And I want to tell you right off the get-go, this is not my vehicle, so I don't care whether you buy it or not. All I care is that you know what you're getting, and I'm just going to point that out to you right now. Now, coming in on the front left tire, you got about 50% tread on all season radios here, so you're down but definitely not out. Now coming behind the front left tire I should say, the left lower ball joint, that is tight. The left outer tie rod is tight, critical, because it holds the wheel to the steering. This is the left sway bar link connected from here to here, intact and doing its job. That's important because it dampens the sway when it goes around the corner. This is the left outer CV boot. Now it's full of grease, and if it was ripped, you see grease all over the place. This is the left inner CV boot, and again, same thing. If it's full of grease and it was ripped, you see it leaking all over the place. This here is your left spring suspension. Pardon me. This is your left upper ball joint, and it is tight. This is your left spring suspension. If you follow it down, no cracks, no breaks in the springs. And more importantly, if you look inside, that tube inside that spring there is full of oil. If it was leaking, you see it dripping all the way down. Important not to be, because that is what controls the suspension in the car. Now, leak wise, I'm seeing leak. You know what? I'm going to say you've got like a power steering leak, okay? And I think it's a hose, and it's pretty common on these older Chryslers. But I think you're changing up a hose, a couple $100 job. So that's something you're probably going to have to address before long. Brakes, you've got roughly quite a bit. You got about 30,000, about 20,000 K left on your front brakes. So lots of good amount, a lot of good amount of brakes there. So, brake wise, leak wise, you do have that power steering, like this wet here that you see right here. This is power steering, and I think it's because of the hose. So you're looking at a couple $100 for, I'd say, a power steering hose. Okay, coming in on the rear left wheel, you got about same old 20,000 K on the rear brakes. On your rear tire, you got about 40 to 50% tread. Down, but definitely not out. Your left rear spring suspension intact, no cracks, no breaks. The left rear shock, if you follow that down, good and dry, so that's important. The left and below the diff here, now this is the leak point here, and other than a little bit of stain, there's no active leak that I can see there, which is a good sign. And then another leak point would be right here where the the axle comes out into the left wheel, and if it was going to leak, you see moisture right there, and that is good and dry, so that's a good sign. Coming across to the right rear side, same thing. This is a leak point right here, and if it was going to leak, you'd see it moisture right there, and it's not. So leak wise, and then your right rear suspension intact, no issues. Your right shock, a little harder to see there, but if you see through there, that shock, that tube right there, good and dry. That's important. 20,000 K on your brakes. Your right rear tire, this tire is down more than the others. You've got about 20% tread left on this rear tire, so down more than the other two. Brakes, about 20,000 K left on the rear. Okay, just a shot of your muffler here. Not any holes that I can see. Quite clean actually for an 04 vehicle, 20-year-old vehicle. Actually, this is really quite clean on the bottom of your vehicle here. I'm not even seeing hardly any surface rust. The another leak point right here where the diff comes out. This is the transfer case, and if it was going to leak, it would see it leaking right there. That is dry. The bottom of the transfer case, good and dry. Bottom inside, the bottom of the transmission there, very good and dry. Exhaust is intact. I don't see your catalytic converters right here. Nothing wrong with them. Trouble is, so that and what you see right there, that's water. Okay, every exhaust system produces water, so that's not a concern. Big problem is that people are cutting the cats out, and you got yourself a big expense for that. If you buy, I can put on a free, not a free, pardon me, not a free, but a catalytic theft protection system for like $100 if you want. Stop that from happening, because it's like about $1,500 if they steal the cats. It's a big expense. Now coming into the front right tire, again about 30,000 K, a little more K in. Yeah, you got about 30,000 K in the front and about 20,000 on the back there. The your right front tire about 50% tread. The coming behind the front right tire, the right ball joint, lower ball joint is right there. That is tight. The right sway bar lane connector from here up to here intact, doing its job. Your right outer CV boot, good and dry. Right inner CV boot, good and dry. Your right spring suspension, follow it up there, no cracks, no breaks. Your right upper ball joint right there is intact, and more importantly, inside, if you see inside the spring there, good and dry. So another leak point would be right here where the drive shaft comes out of the transfer case, and I don't see any indication of leaks there. So that's the bottom of the car. Now I'm going to take you up and show you the top. Okay, you definitely have yourself a cracked windshield. You're going to need to address that. You've got 341,151K running smoothly though. Not too shabby. No check engine lights that I can see. You might, I would say you're probably going to need a tune-up, because there is a little bit of a, feels like a little bit of a misfire. But so a tune-up, you're looking at probably about $400. Okay, motor. With the motor running, there's definitely a little bit of a misfire here, so I'm going to say a tune-up is a good idea. It's about $400 for a tune-up. Okay, shot of the exhaust with the motor running, very clean. Got yourself a full hitch. Yeah. Now, one thing I always do is I take off the oil cap and I look underneath for any indication of white goo, which would be a mixture of oil and antifreeze, which would be a head gasket, and I don't see any indication of this at all. Now, I tell you, the work that I have done personally on the car is I've just finished doing the valve cover gaskets because they were leaking. So that's done. That was a big job. I would say that the work that you should do in the car is a power steering line, because I believe it's leaking, and about $200 for that. About 250, whatever, roughly for that, and then a tune-up. So you're looking at probably about $650 of work to do. Battery's good and strong. Motor, as far as I can tell, this vehicle has been well maintained. It's got high miles, but it has been well maintained as far as I can tell. So hopefully this will help you make an informed decision. And if this is on this vehicle, and again, remember, it's not my vehicle, so if you contact me, I'll put you in touch with the owner. You make any deal you want to make. I'm just the one who want to show you the inside story, and I'll do this for any vehicle, because I am the Cowboy Mechanic, and I do have your back. Thank you very much.